it. So I'm gonna let Mr. Yarbo continue. Please go ahead, Mr. Yarbo. Are you on? Can you? We can see you and hear you. Speak. Say
You can
something.
see me and hear me.
You good? You
Yep.
good?
So where I got cut off at, and probably because I said the words 23 trillion, and immediately the whisperers knew exactly what I was about to say. That the global monetary reset, because the entire globe is tied to the U.S. dollar. In 1944, in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, which was about the third iteration of our monetary system changing, the world agreed to um, use the US dollar as the world reserve currency and tie the US dollar to gold at an exchange ratio of $35 an ounce. So every transaction done internationally was done in dollars, and that was the birth of the SWIFT payment system as well. Well, now that we are not tied to the dollar anymore and we are freely floating fiat currency, meaning there's nothing backing it, every currency in the world is freely floating.
Mm.
So we're at $23 trillion of debt in the US. And now Congress has said we're going to just magically give 2 trillion to the US public to stimulate the economy after giving almost 5 trillion to Wall Street and banks in order to keep it afloat and keep us going toward 29 record 29,000 Dow, whatever the NASDAQ and S&P and 500 was. Well, now we're at a point where they know that it's broken. They know that it was about to break anyway.
Mm-hmm.
COVID just became the culprit that we could point the finger to.
Mm-hmm.
And now that it's broken and broken all the way, well, it doesn't matter how much money we put into the system now, it's going to fall anyway. And just like I was saying, this video game behind me, when I hit the reset button, I start back at the beginning. Well, what's the beginning of monetary policy? What's the beginning of monetary history? It's gold. So when we say it's a global financial reset about to take shape, it's going to take shape and take place back on gold, and you better have you some. Otherwise, you're just sitting around again waiting for a handout. Don't wait for a handout. Take these US dollars while they still have some buying power and start exchanging them for real assets, a tier one asset, and be already in position for the global monetary reset. You got time right now. Grace is being given. Like Mr. Taylor said on the first stream before we got cut off.
I think we
You
got it.
These are just the tremors.
Mm.
When the earthquake hits, you want to be founded on gold. Back to you, Mrs. Brown, Mr. Taylor.
Whew. You know, I'm so grateful for you guys having this conversation and for us just being candid because I remember as a young girl, my mother told me about prophecy and how things were going to shift and I remember her, just telling me all these little pieces of the puzzle and I've watched them unfold and now we're at the falling of the dollar piece of the prophecy and the new world order and the one world government and the one world currency and all of that stuff. It's we're watching it unfold. And so to have a trimmer to let us know that, hold on a second, you got to make some changes and you need to make them now. I'm grateful for that. you know, to know that it's not too late, that we are watching it fall, but we can make the change now and invest in gold and do it with a quickness because we know we've been watching inflation, we've been watching the value of the dollar go down. I just the other day I was in the store and I'm wondering, why does it cost so much for something that used to cost so little? And you guys educated me years ago or last year that it wasn't that the price of the product that was going up, but it was the value of the dollar that was going down. And so
Hmm.
if the dollar was originally valued at 100 pennies and now it's valued at 2 pennies, what
Hmm.
does that mean? And where are we headed next? And look at where we are. So, I wanted you guys to share a little bit more about the coins and the value of all of that. Can you guys touch on some of that for us?
Yeah, so and that's why we're so, how do we say that? Sometimes I'm trying to be sensitive, but we are a stiff-necked people. For some reason, it's like it's hard. Like the language that we're speaking, it's not coming from Dwayne. It's not coming from Donovan. it's coming from the reading, it's coming from the research, it's coming from the people that came before us. So people don't recognize and honor when we speak it because we don't have the quote unquote pedigree behind us. So people be like, who are you?
Hmm.
Like, you're not there yet. But yeah, here's one thing I know. If I'm in jujitsu, I've said this before. If I'm a 4 stripe white belt, I can teach a 1st stripe white belt.
Right.
I'm not a blue belt yet. I'm not a brown belt yet. I'm not a purple. I'm not a black belt yet. But I can still teach a 1 stripe white belt,
Hmm.
right? So first, before we even talk about these coins and things like that, people have to be open-minded to receive it. Because if you're not open-minded to even receive it, we're casting our pearls on into some swine. And we want to make sure that our family takes heed to what we're saying, not because we're trying to get you into something. We actually trying to get you out of something and into something. So when it comes to gold, like it is a must that you have to begin to acquire real physical gold. We're not talking about ETF. See, when you talk about gold to most people, the first thing their mind is trained to do is go stock market. Right? As soon as you say, "Yo, do you have any gold?" Nah, I don't invest in gold. I don't invest in gold. We don't invest in gold. No, we teach people how to save their money in save their Federal Reserve debt notes, exchange them for real physical gold, and then that creates cash flow for you, right? Because we are a referral-based company. So when you refer people, the company pays us. You don't pay me. I don't make nothing from you. What I make is from the company because I referred you. And the only thing I referred you to do was to protect your family in true wealth. And that's what we want the family to hear today. What we're giving y'all an opportunity to do is to begin to step up to the plate and begin to swing and make hits finally. Like now, when you get up to the plate, every time you swing, you're going to swing and get real physical goal. Why? Because this is just a trimmer. Grace is being laid out for you. Like this is grace covering you for a period of time. Grace will always be there, but grace has to allow things to happen so the new can come.
Right. Man, that's good right there, Mr. Taylor, because it's true that you can't put on the new until the old is done away with. So the old has to come all the way down. And some people will hold on to that old until it goes all the way down and then be lost. Like think about the guys who had the I think in New York City they called them OJs. Which was orange Cadillacs that used to drive around in the hood, and that was kind of like your first iteration of Uber, ride around in the Def OJ, but it was an 8 track in that vehicle. So cats had large 8 track collection of 8 tracks. Well, it started to go to records. So what you couldn't play the records in the house, you couldn't play the 8 tracks in the house because now everybody had a record player. Then we went from a record player to tapes.
Hmm.
So now you still trying to play records, but we didn't move to tapes. So you come to my house with your record collection. It's like, nah, bro, I got a tape deck. Then when I was coming up, tapes were being phased out to CDs. Well, I was a person that held on to tapes while people were buying $10 CDs for a whole album or for a single. When CDs first came out, it was like $10 for a single. I would pay $6.99 to get the whole album, because
Hmm.
there were still tape decks. Well, eventually now there's no tape decks even in vehicles right now. You show a kid a reel-to-reel tape and they like, man, what's that? They don't even recognize it because the new has come in. The era has changed.
Hmm.
So if the era has changed in money, why are we still holding on to the old? If we know that the wealth gap continues to grow, why would we continue to do the same things that is allowing that wealth gap to grow? If you see somebody like with the high jump, when Fosbury came in with the high jump and had developed his technique, they had to call it the Fosbury flop because nobody had seen it. And then
Hmm.
he's clearing heights that nobody's clearing. So if I continue to try to run and jump over this bar the old way, I'm never going to beat somebody who's learning the Fosbury flop. So I got to learn the Fosbury flop. So now in this new dispensation, I look at the game of Monopoly as being the best teacher, but we never knew that. We thought that, we could just go around and pass go and collect $200 in life, and that would get us over.
Hey, Mr. Yarbo, real quick, look at that box. Look how they got the board shaped. In which direction?
Man, school me.
That diamond.
That
home
diamond.
plate, first place, second plate, third plate, man.
Oh,
I see it, man.
Yes.
I see it. First base, second base, third base, get the home.
Yeah.
Or go the other way. But either way, our jobs are just rolling the dice and passing go, collecting $200, but never playing the game. We're just spectators. We're never getting any skin in the game, no assets. Because what happens the longer you play this game? Houses come up on these properties. Somebody gets a monopoly on the 4 railroads. So it used to cost you $25, you land on a railroad. But then it started costing you $100. Then it started costing you $200. Inflation. But your paycheck, past go, didn't go up. It's still just $200.
Let me add to that too, Donovan. It's $200, but that's only worth $100 now.
Yep.
Exactly.
So
exactly. So you're getting the same 200 on the bills, but the buying power is being sucked away.
Right.
That's the hidden tax. We've been hidden taxed away from our wealth, and we continue to do the same things, expecting a different result. I think we know what Einstein called that. Insanity.
Right.
Let's not be insanity with our currency. Because Mike Maloney, one of my mentors, said we can no longer call this like this isn't money. Money has to store value. So let's call it what it is, currency. So the more that we drill it in and reprogram ourselves that this is currency, it must move. If I let it stand still, it dies. And the best thing to do with it is move it first, like the millionaires do, into an appreciating asset. And let me say this one last thing before you take over, Mr. Taylor. The automatic millionaire, and like on my one of my avatars right now, I have millionaire by choice. I am a millionaire by choice because I chose and I choose to do the things that millionaires do. David Bach in The Automatic Millionaire writes that the rich get rich and stay rich. And I loved how he uses the words, because he didn't say those that were born rich are already rich. He says the rich get to rich physically and stay rich physically because they pay themselves first, Danielson. Wax on, wax off. Paint the fence. Over to you, Mr. Taylor.
And what we're attempting to convey is principles, laws that are established that work for anybody that gets involved. Healthy teach their children every time you get paid, you pay yourself first. There's a video out on YouTube, you can probably go find it, where Oprah has Robert Kiyosaki on her show. This when she first came out, and there's a gentleman, and he's talking about, in order for you to get rich, you have to pay yourself first. And there's a gentleman that talks about, like, well, Mr. Kiyosaki, how can I pay myself first when I got my mortgage to pay? And Robert said, that's why you always going to be broke. He said, you pay yourself before you pay your mortgage. Oh, woo! Pay yourself first before you pay that dead debt. That's what a mortgage is. It's a death note.
Death note.
It's a death debt. And Mr. Yarbo, when you talk about, I'm gonna call these things currency, it's not even, to me in my mind, it's no longer a currency because it's a product called a Federal Reserve debt note, payable for all legal tender debt, all legal debt, private and public. The entire system we operate in is a debt-based system. That's why we have something called a FICO score, because you need credit to live the life you really want, because you don't get paid enough to live the true life you want. You just can't go and buy a car with the cash. You just can't go buy those 4 TVs you need in your home. You just can't go buy your furniture with cash. Nope. We got a Rooms to Go card. We got a Visa card, a MasterCard, American Express card, this card, that card. Why? Because it's a debt-based system, and the only way it works is if you're in debt. If everybody gets out of debt, their system collapses because it no longer exists. But people choose to stay in that and think it's a good thing. It's like they say, if I had some trail mix and I put a little boo boo in it, just a little bit, are you gonna eat it?
No, because I don't know what raisin that boo boo is.
I'm gonna need y'all to
You know what
stop.
I'm saying? Like, no, you ain't gonna eat it. But they boo booing in our trail mix and we gobbling it up. Like, because we
Yeah,
won't
Matt.
take the time to just stop and listen and get new information.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And in
The
this new era,
educational, it trains you to be afraid to get new knowledge, because if you fail you get labeled as an F, as a failure.
right?
Mhm. While you guys are going on, we're getting all kinds of love and all kinds of laughs. And I wanted to say hi to Kyle and Dion. um, y'all are funny.
I'm looking for the comments. I
Oh,
don't
I,
see
I,
'em. Okay, there we
I didn't
go, there
see
we
them.
go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so we're not here all night, man, because I could talk wealth. I could talk changing your mindset, renewing your mind, and understanding the era that we're moving into and being in position. I mean, and this is the beautiful thing, man. This is why you have to sit back and just and say thank you, God. Or thank you, whatever you refer to as your higher power. You have to give thanks to it because you saw. I mean, we can clearly see what's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the digital age, the age of information is laid out in front of us. You truly have to be deaf, dumb, blind,
Hmm.
half dead to not see the writing on the wall,
Yeah.
right? Yes. Is Corona serious? Is this something we should take serious? Yes. Nobody wants to be sick on their deathbed fighting for their life.
Right.
So necessary precautions have to be taken. But this whole stay 6 feet away, don't touch nobody, like as if I touch someone with Corona, it jumps on me. No, there's a certain, in the understanding of transmission of diseases, there's a certain stuff that has to be exchanged for it to be transmitted, right? So all of that is just a form of social engineering, just to see how far they can push you before they actually have to come with the guns and the tanks. So they're seeing how far they can separate us now. But even in the midst of that, there's still a system alive for us from the comfort of our homes to start to build wealth, acquire a tier one asset, get out of this dollar paradigm before it's too late. Because I talked to a few brothers who lost 10, 15, 20, and up to $60,000 out of their 401k,
Mm.
something that they knew nothing about. All they knew was that's what they told me to do, so I did it. And for the last 12 years, they built up a great nest egg, but didn't know what to do. Why? Because they were told you can't touch it till you're 59 and a half. Well, I'm 50. I got 9 years and I'm going to be able to retire. And then all of a sudden, now 30% of it is gone
Wow.
before you hit the tax on it and before you hit the early withdrawal penalty. 30% is just gone. It's like, well, what do I do now? I needed to build back up. I can't. And it's like they just took 30% of your money, your currency. Why would you sow into that again? And the analogy that I used was when you go to the casino, do you hand your chips to someone else for them to gamble?
Mm.
No, you don't. You think that, well, I'm gonna play blackjack or I'm gonna play roulette or I'm gonna play poker or I'm gonna shoot craps with my money. But in this game, they tried to make it so convoluted and so complex that we think that we can't understand the financial systems and the financial markets. But if we listen to those that do, the Robert Kiyosaki's, the Mike Maloney's, the Peter Schiff's, the Lynette Zhang's, the Gerald Celenti's of the world, and I can name 40 others, just not off the top of my head right now. If we would listen to them, we could see that 5, 10, 15 years ago, they predicted accurately exactly what's happening now. How? by doing the history.
Yep.
So by looking at the history and the cycles, and that's why I said earlier with the global financial reset, well, what did we just reset to? It's got to be something that we're familiar with. It's got to be something that has existed and has stood the test of time, and that's gold. And me and Mr. Taylor were talking the other day, and we told, we were able to kind of come to the consensus that, wow, everything is moving digital. It went from gold and silver to then they had paper that represented gold and silver, which is I have an example of that here. Hopefully the camera picks that up. You can see the top of that says silver certificate. So on the bottom it said $1 payable to the bearer on demand in silver, not just freely floating confidence in paper. But we went from paper, then they allowed you to write checks so you could write larger denominations. So you didn't have to walk around with 10K in cash. You could write it on a check, and that check became the claim note to get the debt notes. Well, then we went to cards, and it went where it was just digits on the screen. So the next advent of that is all digital. So that's the reset. But that digital has to start with a foundation, and the foundation is gold. So have the physical asset gold, but also now don't say that, oh, the blockchain cryptocurrency is too complex. Start to learn about it now while it's simple, while it's still in its elementary phase. It's not so advanced that you can't learn. And Mr. Taylor said this earlier, that school has taught you that if you make a mistake, that you're stupid. That if you say the wrong thing, if you don't memorize it exactly, we're not looking for memorization. We're looking for those that are hungry and have the desire to know what's coming, prepare for it, be in position, and are willing. Well, you don't have to, but you should be, because I wouldn't have this information if Mr. Taylor didn't share it with me. Miss Queenie Brown would have this information if Mr. Taylor didn't share it with her, and so many others. That's how our ancestors passed on knowledge. Before books, before the written word, it was passed on through word of mouth. I got to tell somebody, and now everybody's raving about this self-made, the story of Madam C.J. Walker. Well, look at the movie. What did the woman do? She built a distribution network for her product. It wasn't self-made. It was, hey, I got the product that people need.
For all our people that be tripping, she built the first network marketing company.
Man, truly know your history. Yeah. That's what she did.
She did. Like, we need to thank CJ Walker for creating the network marketing industry, because she was trying to compete with a race of people she couldn't compete with. So she had to leverage her people. Look, I'm going to pay you to go find some people that will join us in this group economic. God.
And not only distribute the product, but we use the product too.
Use the product.
But what is our product? Our product is wealth. Yes, I use the product. I use the product to shield me from this global collapse. I have it.
And here's what they're going to say. Here's what they're going to say, Donovan. They're going to say, okay, you telling me to take all my cash in exchange for gold, then I ain't going to have no paper to pay my bills with. Here's the thing, though, with our system. The more of those Federal Reserve debt notes that you exchange in our system creates more Federal Reserve debt notes that you can use to pay your bills. But at the same time, it produces free gold for you as well. We are the only system on the planet where you can literally sign up for free, refer people to come learn about why they should save in physical gold, and our company will pay us a referral fee for using the power of word of mouth to get our product into the masses of honest people around the world. And what is our product? If you think about most companies, you have to go sell a product to create the cash flow. Right?
First you have to buy the product.
First you got to buy it, then you got to sell it to get the currency to come back to you, right? Here's what we do. You already labored for your dollars, right? So everybody else is leveraging you. Federal IRS is leveraging you. MasterCard is leveraging you. Your mortgage is leveraging you. Whatever other bills you got, they're leveraging your labor to take your currency away from you. So why don't you say, I'm gonna be the first one to use my leverage and take a portion of my currency,
Mm.
put it in this system to acquire a tier one asset. I'm not buying anything. I'm exchanging a debt note for a wealth note, and then the system pays us every time that happens. So we literally get paid to keep our money in a free system. Why on earth would you not want to do that? You know why most people don't want to do that? Because they want to work hard. They want to grind. They want to do it all by themselves. I got the S on my chest. I don't need no help. Bump that. Once again, we talking about wealth principles. J. Paul Getty, the first billionaire in the United States, he said, I would rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts rather than 100% of my own. So think about it this way. This is what I say in my teaching sometimes. Imagine, Queenie, if all you had to do was pick a day between the 1st and the 28th, or the 1st and the 28th, because
28.
sometimes we have what's called a leap year. And you get up one time in the month and you push a button, and that's all you had to do to create an income. But it worked with leverage when you told two people to push a button. Could you get two people to push a button once a month? And that would begin to create a residual income. But here's the thing, it's called exponential growth. One turns to two. Those two go tell two, that turns to four. Those four go tell two, that turns to eight. So is that one of those things that need people? Look at every business around that is failing. Tell me what business model doesn't need people to work. We're looking at that right now.
Well,
Tell
no,
me.
no, Mr. Taylor. I'm gonna open a restaurant. All I need is food. Once I got my food and my chefs, my restaurant is good.
If the people don't eat, come in
Huh?
and eat, you
Hold
ain't
up.
making no
You mean
cash.
I need people to come in and buy the food that I'm cooking? It don't. I can't just cook the food and that is my business. Well, nah, nah. I'm gonna go to cosmetology school. I'm gonna go to barber school. I'm gonna be a barber. That's it. I'm gonna be a barber. So I don't need people.
Like, that's the stupidest thing I ever hear people say. Is that one of them things where you need people?
Well, Dwayne, Mr. Taylor, I'm a real estate agent. I don't need people.
Okay. Who gonna buy your house that you trying to sell? Or you trying to open the door for and show?
Huh? No,
Door
I'm in
opener?
real
Oh, I
estate.
mean,
I don't
real
need
estate
people.
agent?
What? Well, I'm gonna be an attorney. I'm an attorney. I don't need people. I'm a lawyer. Big money. No, 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 no. I think I'm gonna be a dentist.
Go ahead, Queen.
So for those who are in a position right now where they're scared and they are worried about either that check to check life that they were living that's not anymore, and they know that that's not coming for a minute, and they know that this stimulus is coming, but
That's a
so
thousand dollars.
right. But I'm just saying, that's all that they have. What do you say to them about creating wealth? How do
In
they go
order
about
to
it?
in order to create cash flow, currency has to flow. So you have to be willing to let some of your currency go to receive more currency.
Right.
It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter whatever they go find. They're going to have to let their currency go. But here's the difference. Here's what we're trying to get people to understand. In our business model, you're not letting your currency go. You're keeping it, but you're just turning it into an asset, which is what builds wealth for you. If you don't ever begin to acquire assets, you're not building wealth. You're going to stay in this debt system. So here's what I say to those people who are afraid. It's free.
Mhm.
The only thing you have to lose is nothing.
And let
The
me say
least that you have, what we try to tell people is come in and run with us for 90 days. Let us show you how you can learn something new That's what we trying to get people to understand. You can come in for free and learn while you earn. Are you going to make $1 million overnight? No, we're not telling you that. Can you make $1 million over time? Yes, you can. I know a gentleman right now that paid $90,000 for a car in one swipe, bop, and made that money back in 2 weeks. Why? Because he built a pipeline. He put in the sweat equity for the first 2-3 years. He's building it, and then all of a sudden it's just flowing. It's flowing. Now he don't even going through this thing right here. He's still making cash flow. Why? Because everybody in our organization knows that when we acquire the gold, that creates the currency we need. So why would I stop? Why would I stop the one thing that's creating the currency for me, which is me giving my currency to exchange it for assets? So not only am I getting currency back to pay my bills, I'm also acquiring an asset and building wealth at the exact same time. It's the only system on the planet that lets you do that. There's no other system on the planet that is doing that right now. None.
You know what I loved about what you shared with me early on was that you shared that people buying gold. When you think about buying gold, you think about those gold bricks. And back in the day, they knew that you couldn't carry gold bricks around, so they exchanged it for money to make it so that you could carry it around. But inside this system, you literally have the ability to have the actual gold. Can you show one of the
Yeah.
and so
So I mean, and when we talking about wealth, right?
mm-hmm.
So that's 1 gram. Oh, let me turn my little. Hold on, let me turn my thing off. Blur background off. My computer's running slow. But anyway, it'll come in maybe. But that's 1 gram of 24 karat 999 LBMA gold. So this is my wealth, right? This can never be taken away from me. So in an event that's going on like this right now, if people what people normally do who hold physical gold is if they run out of cash and they're holding this in their vault, they can always go take this and get currency for it,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's why you want to hold a portion of your wealth in physical gold. Every millionaire, multimillionaire, and billionaire, they all hold this as an asset. All of them.
I heard,
All of
I
them
heard,
hold precious metal
I heard Sean Puffy Combs was saying that he was transferring a whole lot of his money,
to gold.
yeah, into gold.
Look, them cats. Go
My bad.
ahead.
You're back.
I'm
Yeah.
back. You guys hear me? Um, so yeah, with that, Mike Maloney back in 2016 did a talk.
Uh-oh, we lost him again.
Yeah, I don't know what he was gonna say on that, but yeah. So for the audience, for the family members, and not only that, okay, let's say you are kind of like, well, I don't know if I could do that. You can start for this is 1/10 of a gram of gold. This is $8. It used to be 5. Now it's 8.
Wow.
Why? Because the gold, it's real money. This is real money. Why? Because this stores my value. It's going to be worth more 20 years from now than it is today.
Mm.
So our family can begin to acquire gold for as little as $8. This is a cup of Joe.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Yarbo stuck again.
Yeah. You had said something. Oh gosh, my thought just kind of dropped. It'll come back. We were talking about the value of gold and how it retains its value. And you had shared. Are you back, Donovan? No, we lost him again.
He's frustrated,
How
boy.
I know he is.
Look at that face.
You guys shared that back in the day. I don't remember when, but you could buy a truck.
Yeah, I'll
Share that
give an
story.
example. So in 1920, if I had 645 Federal Reserve debt notes and a kilogram bar of gold, right? They were equal in purchasing power. So I could get a kilogram of gold for 645 Federal Reserve debt notes. I could go get a brand new Model T Ford car for either 645 Federal Reserve debt notes or a kilogram bar gold. Now, if we put that in the time capsule, nothing's changed, right? Except for the years. But this gold and these debt notes were in the ground in the time capsule, and we found them tonight. If I pulled these $645 out, there's a Wade Ford about 2 miles up the road. Could I go on the lot and get a brand new car with 645 Federal Reserve debt notes?
They would laugh.
No, I
They would
couldn't do
laugh.
it, right?
Right.
But I could take that same kilogram bar of gold. I could go to a We Buy Gold dealer or a broker, a gold broker, and they would give me the retail value of a kilogram bar of gold today, and I could go buy a brand new truck for worth about $50,000 right now. So what changed? What changed? This devalues. This maintains its value. I can go find a sunken ship of gold from 2,000 years ago and pull that gold out today and get currency notes for it. That's value. That's store of value. This is what preserves your sweat equity. This what preserves your blood, your sweat, and your tears, because you're laboring for something that doesn't even exist. This stuff ain't even real. They make this out of thin air. How do you think they just came up with $2.2 trillion?
Right.
They just magically printed it. So it has no value. Go ahead, Mr. Yarbrough. You were saying in 2000, I think you froze again. So that's what we want you to understand, family. That's why, and see, I can pass this down to my family. My great grandchildren can have this wealth that I began. See, the gold I'm holding today is not for me. It's for my son. And then it's for my son to hold to get to his kids. Well, why do you do that? Because that's how you build legacy wealth. But we're not taught that. We're taught to just spin, spin, spin. Go ahead, Mr. Yarbrough. You were saying in 2016, Mike Maloney. We know you're frustrated.
I don't think my connection's strong enough, man, but we've been betting on the wrong horse. Since 2000 to 2016, gold had outperformed the S&P 500 in stocks by almost 300 to 1. Gold was up 450%. Stock market was only up 50%. So you're talking about a 400% increase, but we were told just to, because we were told to live the 401k and the matching bonus. Well, they're going to give you a matching bonus is free money. Well, how's that free money looking now when they took it all back from you? Where had it been stored in gold, you'd have your wealth, your retirement would be safe. And then with a system like Bars International, you could also make money by doing what you're doing anyway. I forgot what the number was, but it's like 7 million Americans have a 401k. And that money, the broker has to get paid. The hedge fund manager has to get paid. How does he get paid? With fees and hidden expenses that we don't see. But the question I wanted to answer, Queenie, was, okay, what do we do now? Man, I worked my whole life and now I'm out of work. I have no more income coming in and I need this stimulus check. What is this stimulus check going to do? Well, if you just use it to try to pay some bills, try to get some food, or and we know some people just stupid is as stupid does is gonna go buy a TV. They're gonna go buy some shoes. They're gonna take the stimulus and give it right back. They say that if you took all the money in the world and dispensed it out evenly, eventually the same 1% that has it now will have it again, because they know how to acquire wealth. It has nothing to do with the money. And when you start acquiring wealth and acquiring money, you realize it has nothing to do with the money. It has to do with the information and what to do with it. So now, okay, what do I do with this stimulus check? Why would I join Bars International? Why gold? Why now? I'm struggling. If you don't change, number one, your mindset, which comes from the different words that you have, you won't change your actions, you won't change your habits, and you won't change your outcome. So look at this cycle now and say, do I want to go through this cycle again? No, I don't. I don't want to go through this cycle again. So you take that the first thing you do with that stimulus check is you make sure it's good, you cash it, you thank God for it, and then you sign up for a free gold savings account. So how much of that stimulus check did it cost you? None. And then you take the first $10 of that stimulus check, like Mr. Taylor showed you, and you exchange it for a tenth of a gram of gold so you can start to work the muscle of paying yourself first. Take the first 10, not the first 100, not the first 200, not the first 1,000. Take the first $10. It starts with the smallest seed. If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you were saying to this mountain, be thou removed, and it will be cast in the sea. But the problem is we walk by sight. We're not walking by faith. What do I do with the gold? You hold it.
Got stuck again. And you hold it because, like I said, it goes from generation to generation. So, family, that's what we're just beseeching you. And here's one last thing. If not this, then what? What other offers are on your table to help you build wealth right now for free? What else do you have on the table? What other choices who's bringing you another choice to get you out of the situation that you're presently in right now? If nobody is giving you another choice, then you need to come on. What else you gonna do? You gonna go back to what? A job that might not be there for you? And be in bondage again instead of making a decision to come learn. See, that's the biggest thing. You have to be willing to make a decision to learn something new. The language of money is a different language. And see, when we talk about money, the first thing that's going on is popping off is everybody's personal issue with money. Like everybody has different issues with money. Like that's a whole nother topic. Like most people, the reason we're in this thing right now is because there's a scarcity mindset that runs through the DNA of 99.9% of the people on this planet. We see scarcity more than we see abundance. So everything that is going on in this world today is because of a scarcity mindset. We think that there's not enough. There's plenty. Matter of fact, there's more than enough. Look how much food we throw away every single day. Why are there hungry people on this planet? When we throw tons of food away in this country every single day, grocery stores are throwing away. There is no scarcity. The only reason we see scarcity is because that's what they've trained us to see and look at. Oh, he has more than me, so I must be lacking. Oh, he has a better car than me. So, man, a car is a car. If I can get from point A to point B, but see, we think we're lacking something if somebody has something a little better than us. We ain't like, there are some indigenous cultures on this planet that don't know what money is. But then when it infiltrates their village, it starts to go down.
Mr. Taylor, well, I got a connection. Let me jump in right
Go
here.
ahead, sir.
What you're saying is exactly the point I wanted to land on, and that scarcity mindset, that not enough, and it causes us to either freeze or be jealous or look the wrong way. And Lord, help me remember exactly the way you wanted to word this regarding this system, because that's what it is. In a time of crisis, we go into scarcity and lack mode because that's what we know. But this is when fortunes are made. Fortunes are made from sitting on the sideline, getting $1,000 stimulus check and trying to hold it and choke it and pinch it because I don't know where the next meal is coming from. No, this is when you got to take the chance, take the opportunity that you got to freaking stretch out and say, you know what, I'm going to get in the game. You know, like 50 Cent said, I'm going to get rich or die trying, and not with the wrong relationship to money. We're not exalting money as God, as king, but the need for it in this realm is self-evident. Right now, you can see that money is the only thing moving, and the main thing is moving away from people, or it's moving to a point where, like, man, I can't see it. Where is the next one meal coming from for me? Where's the next check coming from? So now's the time. And like I said on my Facebook today, it's not time to grind. It's time to build that pipeline. And there's no better pipeline to build than one that starts with creating wealth for yourself. You see, we have that self-sufficient, take care of myself, me and my family mode, but we have it twisted. It's in the wrong direction where all we end up with is lack because we're just trying to get enough for me and my family. But like statistics tell you, most Americans don't have $400 saved for an emergency. That's been proven true. Look at the emergency. Look at your funds. Where was the $400? You didn't have it. Why? Because you didn't take the time to wax on, wax off, and pay yourself first. You didn't take the action. You said, I don't need that right now. Oh, I'll get to that later when times are better. Well, see, now I had a gentleman reach out to me and say, man, D, I see what you're doing. I know I need that system, but when things get better for me, sir, it's a free system. Connect, lock arm with us for 90 days. There's people you know that I don't know that are out looking. Be a beacon of light for them. Well, you can only be a beacon of light if you come to the light. Like my candle does not dim because I light somebody else's candle. So let me light your candle. So now you walking around, oh my God, I'm lit. Now you can go light somebody else's candle and show them a system that was designed. Truly, Mr. Harold Seitz's mission with Karatbars International is to free millions from this current system of debt. This is why you have to get free from this system of debt, because when they turn something off, it turns you off. So you weren't the provider. The job was to the provider. The boss, whatever the CEO's name was, he was the provider, because when he can no longer provide a job for you, you can no longer provide a living for your family. You want to talk about bondage? That's bondage. People that don't even know they're in bondage. And that's the worst kind of slave. I don't even know I'm a slave. Why? Because I'm working hard. And yes, there's pride in that. But what Karatbars allows us to do is finance our freedom. 1 gram of gold at a time, not kilos, not ounces. Start with 1 gram. Or in a time like this, start with 1/10 of a gram, but don't do this. Don't freeze up and do nothing. Don't say, I don't know exactly what to do, so I'm going to do nothing. That is the wrong posture to take. The posture to take now is, man, I got nothing to lose. Because in Karatbars, every transaction is a win-win. No lose. The only losers in Karatbars are those who do nothing. And they're not even losers. You sign up for a Karatbars account and look in your back office and you got 40 people on your team. Why? How did that happen? Where did these people come from that are saving gold? Because more people are telling more people to tell more people, and it spreads like wildfire. We got to catch a fire with this thing. And that's why I spoke to these two on my when we were prepping for this show. There were over 8 live streams on my Facebook at one time, and they were all saying the same thing. I mentioned earlier that as far as financial literacy, I'm in 3rd grade. And Mr. Taylor said as far as a white belt or a blue belt, he can teach a white belt. I can't teach a black belt. Like I can't go show Robert Kiyosaki anything about building wealth and financial literacy. He's my teacher now. But I can show the 1st grader, the kindergartner, I can share this with you and say, hey, I'm in 3rd grade now, but I know when I graduate, that's freedom. So come along with me now. Don't wait till I get to 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. Come walk with me now and we can accelerate you to 3rd grade. And guess what? If you're hungry and if you start like Arcad, and one of my favorite books, The Richest Man in Babylon, he started with a desire. If I can, while I have connection, let me read this one passage that I love in this book. These are 2 people reaching out to the richest man in Babylon to ask him. They're asking him, how did his wealth and fortune start? Because he was teaching them the cures for a lean purse. Oh man, I had it queued up. There it is. So they asked him, how becamest thou so wealthy? And he simply said, by taking advantages of opportunities available to everyone in our good city. This opportunity that we're sharing with you is available to everyone. Why? Because it's free. There's no barrier to entry. Then they said, well, thou hadst nothing to start with? And he said, no, only a great desire for wealth. Besides this, I had nothing. If you don't have the desire for wealth, especially in a time like this, again, I can't help you. Log off the stream, turn it off. You should have turned it off an hour ago. You shouldn't even still be on with us. If you're watching live or the replay, why are you still on with us? Just to, like, we're not entertaining you. This isn't a Netflix show. This is a call to action, a call to action to pay yourself first, to sign up for a free gold savings account with the person that shared carrot bars with you, be it myself, Mr. Taylor, Miss Queenie Brown, or some other person that shared this stream with you. The universe is all about good energy, and we're not saying, oh, you heard it from us, sign up. No, sign up with the person who invited you. You register with their link. Take the necessary steps to verify that you're a real person and start paying yourself first. Start exchanging some of this devaluing currency. I mean, I'm holding this right now. Like what I'm showing you right now isn't cash that I keep on me. That I've reached into my safe. This is part of my emergency fund. Like Miss Brown asks, what happens if the grid goes down? Well, if the grid goes down, you want to have some of this. But as you can see now, they're telling you that this is carrying the coronavirus. So companies are not going to want to accept this. So if the grid is down, what are they going to accept? Real assets. Real assets. Look at this. These look the same, but they're not. Why? Because this one is just a promise to pay of no value. This right here has the gold embedded in it. That's why Care Bars is the perfect opportunity because of the innovation. The products are real money, are real gold, and they're built for transaction. A whole gold-based ecosystem is being built now. And guess what the world is looking for right now? A gold-based ecosystem. Mr. Taylor, back to you. I'm done.
I'm
Thank you.
just going to end it with this one word: believe in your potential right now. Like that's what I hear the spirit saying. Believe in your potential. Don't believe in the job anymore. Believe in your potential that you have the ability to put yourself in position. And look, we're not saying Care Bars is the end all be all of your wealth career, your wealth journey. What we're saying is like you have to take the step in order to get to the next place. And this is that bridge to get you there. For some people, it's a bridge. For other people, it's their life. But either way, it's going to help you. So believe in your potential. Don't believe in the job no more. If I could tell you anything, let this opportunity stir in you the potential that's already on the inside of you that God is trying to educate, which means to draw out of you. Look, if you're watching this real quick, it's not by chance. Anybody, whether it's the replay or live, if you're watching this, it's not by chance. It's by design because you've been asking for something and here it is, giving it to you right now. Will you receive it? But that's it, Miss Queenie. I know it's 11:05, so that's it for me.
Wow. Thank you guys. um, take heed, family. What's happening right now is no joke. It is a full on shift, but it's also a wealth transfer. And we can make the decision to be in the know and in the gold, or you can be on the other side in the fear and
And,
insecurity.
and Ms. Brown, while you're closing, let me add this one thing that you
Yes.
said. It's not just a shift. It's also it is the greatest opportunity that will ever arrive in your life. Another opportunity will not present itself like this to firmly put your family on the wealth side.
Mm.
There is a difference between income and wealth. Let's close the wealth gap by playing the game properly and acquiring the assets. Let's
Mm.
acquire the assets that the wealthy acquire, play the game so that when it's time to take over, we're not just marching, we shall
Mm.
overcome. No, we got the product, we got the goal, we got the wealth, and we can truly separate if we need to. Right now, we are reliant. But this, Ms. Brown, along with what you said, the shift, it's real, but it's also ripe with opportunity.
Yes.
Take that chance. Step out. Spread your wings. You are ready to fly. And guess what? If you're not ready to fly, we got you. You just see the three of us. There's a team of 900 of us that are ready to assist and help you immediately. Back to you, Miss.
Wow. Where do I, how do I top that? Thank you all so much for watching us. Thank you for just opening your mind and heart to another way of thinking, another opportunity, and just take a chance. I put a link in the comments so that you can click on it, create your free account, use your $10, get you a bit of gold so that you can at least start the process. Do that for yourself, do that for your family. And like Mr. Donovan said, pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. Make sure that you secure yourself because this system as we know it is no more. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I'm Queenie. These are the KingsMan. And thank God it's Financial Freedom Fridays. We love you. Bye, family.
All right, family.